gaming and media podcast from Spawn Camp Council, the six-man think tank that takes content to the highest tier of excellence. Tonight, we're giving you the hottest information on the latest game, so boot up, log in, and enjoy the show. This week, James Bond's 25th movie is shaking up the interwebs. Mortal Kombat 11 is fatally wounded on Switch. Valve puts its fingers in the VR market, and kinky Mass Effect kick starts into a cover-based banger. That's hard to say, boys. But we aren't talking about any of that crap tonight. Tonight, I'm your host, Adam 12, with our co-host, King Dawes, Solid Scorpion Z, Sectator, and the man who put Stank Industries on the MCU map, Poop Shizzle. Solid Scorpion Z, what do you got for us tonight?
All right. We've got some reverb there coming off somebody. We've got Pathway, this little indie game that came out April 11th. It's basically like Indiana Jones XCOM, I guess. It's got like 4 boards to start out. Pretty fucking difficult, actually. I've only gotten 2 of them beaten so far. So, but it's made by like Chucklefish. So I've done a couple other games.
Stardew Valley, right?
Yep. Stardew Valley. Got some other ones called like Wargroove. I haven't tried that one yet, but I know it looked good. Starbound, if you've ever played that, it's kind of like a sci-fi version of like 2D Minecraft, I guess. But yeah, this Pathway game is pretty cool. I definitely consider picking it up. It's $16, so I guess check it out. And then in other stuff, we've got like the Switch rumors. I don't know if you guys have heard those at all.
Yes.
They plan on coming out with 2 new units. There was kind of some other rumors from the some like other devs in the industry talking about we might even see one this summer, like the smaller version of it, I guess.
Is that like just a mobile unit, like a DS that they're looking at with no docking station, or?
Yeah, I think so. From what I've like read, it's going to be very much like the 2DS. It'll have a brighter back screen though, so it's easier to play like in cars and out and about, which I think is a good idea. Oot and boot, yeah. I think they're also going to be updating the resolution, which would be really nice. Switches actually are pretty powerful, considering they can run Breath of the Wild with no stutters. But yeah, so the other Switch, they definitely said it's not coming to E3, so I guess we don't get to see any of that. Where like Xbox and PlayStation are probably going to be talking about their new consoles there, which I think is maybe a mistake on
this is the modest upgrade console.
Yeah, this is like I don't really know how they're gonna market it though, because it's probably gonna be like $300 still, and maybe they'll discount the other one, but that's still pretty expensive for a handheld console.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get the way I see the Switch really kind of cornering the market for what Nintendo does, they should do a basically 3DS, just handheld only, no Joy-Cons and docking and everything. Just making a nice, powerful handheld, and that can be the small guy. Then they have your mid-range, which is the Switch we have now. Maybe do something with it in resolution or whatever. And then they should have like a Switch XL, which can run 4K or it can run higher resolution games and do cool stuff. But I see that as the kind of, they should do a good, better, best kind of Switch scenario, and I think they'd sell more copies of the Switch.
I agree.
You think that they would sell more of those really high fidelity models?
No, they'd sell handhelds. That's what Nintendo does. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've been kind of killing off the 3DS line for a while. They have stopped making games for it entirely. I think the last game that came out for it was just a couple months ago, and that was it. So they're definitely, I think if they make the handheld only version, they make it like maybe $200. I can see it selling really, really well.
Yeah.
Especially if it comes out in the summertime. Um, it'll be the wanted thing at Christmas time,
Right.
and it won't be sold out everywhere. People will actually get a chance to get it, which I think is really smart on that part.
That's one thing Nintendo does really well towards the end life of a handheld console. Like they just axe it, right? Like Game Boy Advance,
Right.
they stopped making games for it, and then like 2 months later, the new handheld came out. So like they don't do what they did with the Wii, where the Wii was making games like 2 years into the Wii U cycle. They end it. It's just done, and they move on.
Yeah, I think that's smart of them as well. I'm really hoping to see this handheld mode though come out at a reasonable price, and not with a lower version screen or anything like that, because the 3DS was just garbage. It was like not even 480. I think it was like 360p or something like that.
You could
It
do a
was real
cheap one with
shitty.
720, your standard version of 1080, and do a 4K handheld.
Do you think they would cut out?
That's what the handheld is now.
Right.
Yeah, like the screen now is only a 720p screen, and
Right.
you get in order to get 1080, you have to dock it. So,
do you think they'll get rid of the online component of it?
No,
Save space.
definitely not.
I doubt it.
No, the online component will definitely stay there. I mean, Wi-Fi is easy enough to throw into something; it doesn't cost very much.
You figure what can you fit into mobile gaming right now? Like what stick on an iPhone? Like
Oh yeah,
why can't they run that for their cheap version, and then run a more powerful one for a dockable version that runs 1080 and handheld and Joy-Cons and all that jazz, and do a big ass 4K one?
I just don't see
10-inch
them
screen.
making the really high fidelity ones, just because it won't sell well in Japan. I don't think it will sell very well in Japan.
No one wants to spend $400 on a handheld gaming console. You're gonna spend $400. It's gonna be a PC or it's gonna be a console.
Yep. Yeah.
So that would be a tough one to sell. That might be like a limited run boutique kind of thing, where Nintendo's never done a really high end console or handheld, and so it'd be kind of uncharted waters for them, anyways. So I think what you could really do is just kind of improve the console or the handheld experience right now, and do a nice 1080 screen, or even if you can get a 4K screen in there, great. But I think even just a larger screen, do like a 10-inch screen or a 9-inch screen, and that'd be sick on a Switch. A 9-inch screen, be awesome.
Yeah, like a tablet size.
Yeah, and then charge it then $350.
They look a little deeper than that too, like what the Xbox subscription that's coming out on the Switch, like that's where the 4K, the 1080p would come in, like playing Borderlands 3 on a subway train in 4K resolution, like that would be fantastic. Like
that would be pretty dope.
So I think Nintendo's trying to pivot all that stuff into handheld, which would be cool.
Mm-hmm. Did somebody say Borderlands? Because
yeah, I think there was some Borderlands stuff today.
Yeah, I'll talk about that later.
All right. Well, that's about all I've got for Nintendo stuff, guys.
Right.
Anything else you got tonight?
No.
Okay. Risk of Rain.
Oh yeah, actually. Oh yeah, Risk of Rain.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Sa, dude.
Sa. No, Risk of Rain. Yeah. No, they released their year-long roadmap. Looks like you're going to be getting a character every couple months. Mm-hmm. New bosses, new stages, and the last one, when they finally do their full release, we'll have final boss and final stage.
Yep.
Which I'm super pumped for, which makes the game even more so akin to Binding of Isaac, because there is an ending in that as well. Yep. I'm super pumped to see this. Me and King still play it regularly.
It comes the updates are coming out quarterly, and the last and final, last update on the roadmap was spring of 2020, and that was the final stage, final boss. Each quarterly update, there was a new survivor coming out, so your new operator, character, whatever you want to call them. Basically looking at the Risk of Rain 1, what we saw there was like there's sniper class, there's a medic class, there's all kinds of stuff they could do with that and pull from Risk of Rain 1. It would be super cool on Risk of Rain 2, pull it into a 3D kind of atmosphere. And I'm interested to see what they come up with so far. Like Solid said, we played this a lot. Very fun game. I originally saw it and thought this looks dumb, but now one of my top 5 games of all time.
Yeah, dude, it's so fucking good. I'm regularly getting through the hardest difficulty now, and getting 2-hour runs in. So it definitely takes some getting used to, but yeah, pretty sure they're gonna have a healer class come out first. I think that's what I've been hearing rumors of.
Yep.
So it'd be like a kind of like a battle healer, like Mercy. You got some pistol action, and then as well as like a group heal and everything. So excited for it. Yeah, excited. You guys all need to play still. So just saying.
And I saw something about Risk of Rain so far. How long has it been out? What, a month? 2 months?
Yeah, it's been about a month.
And an early access game that has no real cost to it besides what the initial was, $16, I think, something like that.
Yeah,
not much. Anyways, they've made $5 million so far off that game.
Wow, dang,
yeah,
good for them. Yeah, I'm really glad that
because I mean it's a pretty good game.
What's that?
Yeah, Risk of Rain 1. I can't remember. It wasn't done by very many people. I'm pretty sure the same as with 2. That's kind of why they're taking their like time on doing a lot of stuff. It's a pretty small studio. Very glad that Gearbox got in on the publishing for that. I would have never known about this game had I not seen it.
Nope.
On that stream.
Never would have played it.
That's cool. All right, you said something about the SSBU 3.0 update. I don't know what that means.
Oh, Super Smash Brothers. They had a 3.0 update. They brought a new character, Joker. Not many people care about Smash. I just thought it was
Persona. Is that right?
Yeah, Joker's from Persona. I've never played the Persona series personally. I hear it's really good, but I'm not into like making friends and stuff in games, so I don't really care, I guess. Yeah. But that's in there. Oh, there's a stage creator now. And of course, day one, tons of dick stages, like normal. But otherwise, there's a lot of really cool creative stages. It's one of the DVD, bouncing on the screen. And it achieves perfect corner, at a certain point in the match. So
that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think Joker is like $6, I think, for the DLC package, and then Stage Creator is just free for everyone. So
nice.
That's about it.
Awesome. All right. Let's see. I think Sectator, you feel like you're up to party?
I'm gonna have you
talk about the industry.
I'm gonna have you guys play a choose your own adventure game. Do you guys want to talk about sexual harassment in League of Legends, or do you want to talk about Fortnite
sexual harassment?
Fortnite mirroring Nike's business model and cheap labor, or would you guys like to talk about Hulu becoming a Disney princess? What would you guys like to talk about?
Or is there an all the above?
None of those.
Is there an above option for that?
Harbinger of great news.
Sounds lit right now.
Industry is in a very interesting place. So I think let's start, because the only one that's not gaming related is the Hulu. So there's been a couple sources that have come out over the last week saying that Disney obviously mirrors some of the concerns that we've expressed on this podcast about how they're going to compete with like just the same crap, right? Like PG-13 and under type shows, whereas Netflix and these other streaming companies have higher than that. So they're actually making a play at Hulu right now, purchasing Comcast's 30% share of the Hulu streaming platform, which would give Disney Plus all of the rights to stream everything that Hulu's allowed to stream right now. So that would be interesting to see how it plays out. The other thing that's interesting is it's rumored that Comcast is trying to cut a deal. So they're trying to sell Hulu pretty cheap, their 30% stake. And that's because NBC, which I believe is a subsidiary of Comcast, is trying to launch their own streaming service. So we could be seeing a lot of hats tossed into this Netflix battle arena type thing to see who wins. So it's very cool. Nothing has official. Hulu hasn't made a statement. Disney hasn't made a statement. As we all know, Disney doesn't make statements until it's done. Like, hey, by the way, this is happening Monday. So they keep their cards pretty close to their chest. This is just a source familiar to the situation that is talking through this. So pretty interesting.
It's odd. I wonder, because Disney already owns 60% of Hulu, right?
Yeah.
So they have a controlling.
I thought it was something may have changed. It was a 4-part from what I understood. Like, Comcast owned majority of Hulu, and then like 3 other companies split minority evenly.
Okay.
But some things could have changed. I haven't pay too much attention to Hulu.
So it'd be enough to get them controlling.
Yeah, they would be full partner.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine CBS is in there because CBS allows them to stream some of their series on there.
Not a lot. CW allows a lot of stuff.
CW
NBC allows a lot.
Yep.
And there's some NBC stuff.
NBC stuff. Yep. Fox as well. Fox has some stuff on there.
Some stuff, yeah.
Damn, everybody's got their hands in the cookie jar.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see what Disney does with it. I
wouldn't be surprised if FX now just pull all the Fox stuff and they just ran their own.
Yeah. Right. The issue you're going to get into, though, is market share, right? Like, they're all competing for our $12.99 a month. Who are we going to go to? And the thing that
but Disney's only $7, so I'm definitely going there.
Well, there's tiered.
$7.99, right?
It's tiered. There's a $7.99, a $12.99, and then a $15.99.
Yeah, okay.
So we don't know what's in each tier. We just know the prices that were leaked. I was talking to my wife about this the other day, though. Like, cable TV is so quick to pull the trigger on shows nowadays, though. Like, if they go through the first season and it's not where they want it, even though the ratings are high, they'll pull the trigger. So personally, I wouldn't go to an NBC or an ABC now because the shows that I would like could get canceled after one season. So
well, and they're not in they're not in everybody's living room anymore. And,
nope.
And what is Netflix and Hulu and all these things. So I mean, they are the new broadcast, main broadcasting channels.
Yep.
Network channels.
And I think that explains why they're quick to do that.
Exactly.
Especially like
panicking.
ABC. Yeah. Yeah, they can't afford to spend money on it. If it's not working out for after a season, then sorry.
So I think a good show that was it called? Designated Survivor. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. Great show, phenomenal show. Had high ratings, very high. It was the #1 show I think on NBC. After 2 seasons, they pulled the trigger for no apparent reason whatsoever. Now Netflix swooped in and they're like, "That's a great show. The ratings were through the roof, and we're gonna buy it." So now the whole 3rd season and all of Designated Survivor is now on Netflix. So kind of an example of they had no reason to cancel that show. The main character, I forget his name, Keith Sutherland, I think. He wanted to move the production to Canada because it was cheaper, and I guess he's part producer, and NBC didn't want to back moving all that to Canada, so they just pulled the plug on the whole freaking show, even though it was the only show that was in positive ratings for that time slot. So kind of an example of these NBC now, ABC now, Fox News, like, they're not bought into these shows long term, so it would be very hard for them to create a business model that supports a $12.99 subscription every month.
Right. Kiefer Sutherland's kind of a prick, though, so I understand NBC's beef. Yeah, I've seen him tackle a Christmas tree once.
I do at the end of the 24 series. It was a great show, but I know that as shows go on, the more prominent characters tend to become more producers roles and stuff. And I think by the end of that show, he was just like a dictator, and everybody was really not looking forward to working with him
too much.
Yeah, so
it's no Lost Boys.
That's where Hulu is. Could be interesting to watch over the next couple months. So nothing official coming out. These are sources that were cited by CNBC and NBC, which proves a little bit of credibility, being that they are NBC and CNBC. That whole group owns a big portion of Hulu. So the fact that there's sources coming out from inside that company saying, "Hey, by the way, this could be happening." I know we talked about, like, what is Disney going to do to compete with Netflix, and what is Netflix going to do to compete with Disney, vice versa. This is a very strong move. If Disney can get Hulu sucked up as a majority owner, they're going to, Netflix will not stand a chance.
Well, it's another tier in their thing. I mean,
because you got Hulu broadcasting football now. Hulu, I think, broadcasted 4 primetime NFL games last year. For no extra charge. You just flipped on Hulu and said, "Oh, by the way, the Steelers and the Ravens are playing on Thursday Night Football." You're like, "Oh, awesome, Hulu. That's amazing." So it's kind of also a backdoor way, because if you guys remember, they made, when Disney acquired Fox, they made them sell off the Fox Sports. So they don't have access to Fox Sports. So now Disney's getting on Hulu, who has a 5-year deal with the NFL. So it's kind of like Disney's trying to play chess and not get flagged for monopolizing the industry.
Well, Disney's always in your back door, man. Don't forget it.
Yep. I'm kind of surprised Netflix hasn't been approached by anybody and picked up. I mean, I really think in that same vein, someone could grab Netflix, and if they have the right backing, they could really revitalize that entire platform.
Yeah. Who the hell's buying Netflix? Amazon? Apple?
I would say it's got to be one of the big ones. Apple, Amazon, Google. I mean, those are the huge ones that
Google,
could do it.
It's the only thing Google doesn't really have besides, I mean, they have YouTube video, but nobody Nobody cares about that shit. Like, why would what's stopping them from getting Netflix?
You wait till Stadia comes out. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh my, I already can't wait for it.
Sell your soul to Stadia. Stadia Arcadia. If they copyright that, I'm gonna be pissed.
You need to be. You need to cite some inside sources inside CNBC.
Stadia Arcadia. If I see that on anything, done. IP attorney, where are you?
Just put it on a T-shirt, then you own it.
I know.
So moving on to Riot, or the people that make League of Legends. Kind of some shady stuff going on there. I don't know if you guys have read into any of the Polygon articles that were written. Basically, they're preventing their employees from suing them by forcing them into arbitration. So you got 5 people that are coming forward about like gender discrimination. Like I was passed up. I did this, I did that because I was a female. And instead of that going to court, Riot is saying you signed an employee contract saying we're going to handle this outside the court and avoid all the bad press.
Completely legal, by the way.
Yeah.
I think that's called ganking, but I'm not sure.
Well, it's actually gotten pretty serious because all the employees at Riot are talking about staging a walkout during one of the big patch updates. So League of Legends patches, I think on Tuesday.
Crashes.
And as they hit go for the patch, whole company gets up and leaves. Probably not the best thing. But
they got a new character coming out.
Yeah, they do.
So that'd be pretty serious.
Like a good Teemo.
So it's interesting because like companies are doing this more and more, and we keep recurring theme on this podcast is talking about how like the gaming industry just completely cucks the developers. Like whether it's a 18-month like shelf life with a company or whatever it is, and now you have employees saying, hey, like I was discriminated against, but they're not letting me talk about it, and getting forced into arbitration where it's being handled outside the camera crew is kind of interesting. So do you guys think that like do you guys see like people getting what's the word I'm looking for?
Was it Cuck?
Cuck?
I heard that one already.
No,
Yeah,
strong
big flex there.
It 100% accurate though. I mean,
Kiss your mother with that mouth? Jesus.
Sound like Cuck sandwiching.
Cock-a-doodle do.
Shut up.
But you are 100% correct. The developer is kind of getting shafted here.
Yeah. Yep. So
Hold up. How's a developer getting shafted by putting people through sexual harassment and passing?
Yeah, it's
I'm
just been going
referring
on
to
for years. It's always
I'm
been
mainly referring
reported
to the
that Riot is
workloads and the
terrible to work
expectations.
Locker room talk, boys.
Around the water
with.
cooler.
It doesn't exist. It does not a thing. Locker room talk.
yeah, Riot's response to everything is kind of like shady. They're like, oh, there are pros and cons for both parties involved to go through arbitration. In their report to Kotaku about speaking out about it. So yeah, it's just interesting. A lot of people are just upset that I guess either the contracts they signed weren't the wording wasn't in there for all of them, so it's kind of seems shady that maybe they changed the wording of the contracts that were signed or what. But there's a lot of people at that company that are mad right now.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's
Keep an eye on it.
Keep an eye on it. If you're trying to play League of Legends and everything goes down on Tuesday, that's why.
Yeah. Let's tell us about this Nike thing, this Epic Nikes.
Yeah, the Nike, the Epic sweatshops.
Sweatshops.
Yeah. So Epic, the company that runs Fortnite, apparently has a mandatory overtime enforced where a big chunk of their employees are working 70-hour work weeks to hit deadlines. And there are rumors of a concerning number of employees working 100-hour work weeks.
That's a lot of llamas.
How's it even possible?
It's a lot of llamas, like 15-hour days, 7 days a week type situations.
Math on that up.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So, basically, like Epic's not wanting to expand their workforce, and it's kind of in a weird situation because Epic wasn't expecting to blow up the way that it blew up, and they're not hiring very many more people to keep up with the workload. And you're talking about a game that has weekly balancing changes, weekly map changes. They've got new things they got skins that are being developed. They've got like a lot of stuff going on. they're not wanting to bring any more people on because I guess they're trying to be the good guy, quote unquote, where if they hire a bunch of people now and the game crashes in the next 12 months, then they're going to be like Bungie and like Blizzard and laying off a bunch of people that they didn't need. But on the other hand of this, they're also forcing their people to work 70-hour work weeks to the point where people have complained to their managers, and the managers have said, you need to stay quiet about this and stop talking to me, or we'll find somebody that can do the job with no complaints. Yeah, so it's not Epic saying they're not forcing overtime, but their employees are saying
it's encouraged.
Yeah, well, they're saying while they're not saying yes, you have to work 70-hour weeks, they're giving them deadlines that can only be met by working 70-hour weeks.
And saying there's the door if you don't like it.
Yep, and saying Blizzard has a lot of developers that are no longer employed that would love to come work for a company like Epic.
They said that?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
That was just me.
Been way cooler if they
Maybe I'm not in Epic, but
who's your
possibly.
inside man? Secretary?
Possibly.
So, personal question for you, Mr. Fortnite. At what point does your morality intersect with your gaming hobby? When would you put Fortnite down? When you realized, what would it take for you to put Fortnite down and hearing things like this about the game itself?
So I've said for a long time, like, I don't want Fortnite to be the best game on the market. Like, I think I've said it consistently on the podcast about I want Apex to beat it. I want these other games to beat it. It's because stuff like this, like, they do a lot of really cool stuff inside the game, but they also do a lot of really shady stuff. Like, their microtransactions are getting pretty ridiculous. They're doing that Avengers thing right now, and to buy one skin, it's like $25-$30 for the skin for Avengers, and they're coming out with like an Avengers thing every couple days. Reports like this that come out. So I think for me personally to like just straight up say no more Fortnite, it's gonna sound very callous, but when I don't enjoy playing a game and I continue to hear all this other stuff come out, because this is a report that was made. There hasn't been any investigation. There hasn't been anything formal. So it could just be disgruntled employees. You never know. But if somebody goes in there, investigates it, and it straight up comes out and says, hey, listen, these 150 things are for sure going on, I think at that point my moral compass would say, okay, let's no longer support this company. We live in an age where people with fast Twitter fingers can get news out there pretty quick. So I've 100% give companies the benefit of the doubt when it comes to situations like this. Do I think Epic's handling it well by coming out and saying the only thing that Epic has said about this is people working 100 hours a week are in the minority? That's the only comment they've made.
That's confirmed. That means
so yes. It means yes. I don't know.
But they put it in the light where they aren't denying it, but they're saying it's solely on the possible choice decision of the employee doing that.
Yeah.
It's them making that decision, not us, because they're putting the pressure back on them. But they're not talking about the excessive deadlines, though. Every Thursday is an update to the damn game, so everybody's crunching the entire week long.
And this really isn't just isolated to the gaming industry. I mean, I work for a company. I'm salaried, so I get paid 40 hours at a yearly salary. I work 55, 60 hours a week. They don't say that. They say, oh, you're salaried at 40 hours, but you have all of these deadlines and you need to meet them, and it's about 60 hours a week of work that I have to do. So this isn't just this is just business in America. This is, I don't know, it's just the way it is when you work as a salary.
Really silly thing for them to say, but there's a minority of people working 100 hours.
100 hours.
It's like I didn't burn down the entire forest.
Right.
Yeah, like
I didn't kill all those people.
The exact quote.
Just a minority.
I didn't start the fire over there. No, right here though.
Yeah, like
so you heard it here first, folks.
They didn't say 70. They said 100. I mean.
Yeah, so they said the full exact quote was extreme situations such as 100-hour work weeks are incredibly rare, and in those instances we seek to immediately remedy those to avoid them in the future.
An 80-hour work week is double.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't say 80, they said 100.
100. That's like 3 times. Let's get real.
Well, and didn't they say, because I read a little bit of the article too. I read a little bit of the article. They said they're going to try to do mandatory 2-week breaks, and isn't that what they're insinuating with that intervention part of the 100 work week people?
Yeah, the way that they did say that. I think what's happening, I think, is maybe the higher ups at Epic, one of those situations where they maybe didn't know what was going on. Maybe they don't have that open dialogue, which happens with smaller companies. I mean, Epic is
Sure.
a little bit larger, but they don't have that transparent dialogue with their employee base. So they're just saying, let's meet these deadlines. Their employee base is doing it. And now they've been doing it for 2 years straight. And they're like, listen, we've been working 70 hours for 12, 24 months. It's getting out of hand. And now they're starting to get involved and intervene, but now it's a little bit too late. I could see that as more understandable. As a company that's growing and making $1 billion every quarter, like it's easy to keep pushing those deadlines without really focusing on your employee base. I could kind of see that as well. I think we need more information personally. Like is this 2 or 3 disgruntled employees that are exaggerating? I mean, Epic, to your guys' point, Epic's response was kind of shady. Like that
super shady.
They only denied the 100 hours. Like they didn't deny the other stuff.
Not the 80 or the 70.
Right.
Riot's response was shady.
Yeah, it's true.
You have 2 weeks, to get your head right. So we've provided you 2 weeks. Now your deadlines still remain, but
right.
And
at what 2-week vacation?
At what point is paying people 30 hours 30 hours a week in overtime? Like, how is that more cost effective than just hiring another person? Like, thinking about it in dollars and cents. Like, I know you don't want to be that company that lays off 800 people, cough, Blizzard, at the end of the year, and then say like, "Oh, we're fine, nothing's bad, we're good. We're just gonna give our CEO a huge raise."
What is it? I forget what they call it, but the average class, sort of. It's got a word. There's a word for it when you bring somebody onto the company and they have to go through the training and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Orientation, onboarding.
Orientation, yes. Standard orientation for the hospital where I work for is $30,000. Mm-hmm. That's how much they say they lose for every person that comes on board.
Yep. Oof. My company, it's about 25, 30 as well.
Yep. So, I mean, that explains a lot. I mean, you can get a lot milking people. And then if the bottom falls out and the game tanks, then all of a sudden, guess what? We just go back to regular hours, guys. We're all good now.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think what's interesting
is it looks bad.
The report indicated that this is in every line: customer service, development, balance, the gun balancing, all that stuff. Like every line of Epic has reports of people working these hours. It's a lot easier to train a customer service person than it is to train a graphic designer. It's pick up the phone and say, "You'll get your refund tomorrow." Click. Like it's not that hard to do.
We're sorry, customer service people, that we didn't mean to offend you.
Yeah, all CSR reps.
Listen,
your hate mail to Spectator Gaming.
I'm a team. I'm a team leader for 35 customer service reps. I could tell you, it's not that hard. So, compared to graphic design artists, a
woman could do it, huh?
He helped.
That's how it is.
Creator code 15% discount.
At Epic. But it'll be
not for microtransactions.
It'll be cool to see how not cool, but interesting to see how everything kind of plays out with Epic. How what they're doing. I think the 2-week mandatory break. I can't remember the cycle, but they're trying to get people in there with a 2-week mandatory break. What I do see happening is maybe them slow down their updates.
Yes.
Does a game
once a week is very aggressive.
Yeah, and the fans. The thing is, the fans love it. They build into it.
There's no fucking way they're going to
stop like
weekly updates.
Nah, you can't. That's what sets them apart.
But what's annoying with Epic is they do updates every week, but they're like half updates every week. Like they'll add
no updates, no weeks.
Yeah, but they could do a full update every other week instead of half an update every. Like it's like it's weird. Like they introduce a trap, like the poison trap that came out, and then they like give a skin in the next patch that goes with the poison trap to kind of build the hype around the poison. It's like that. Why didn't that come out together? Why did you have to release that on 2 different weeks?
A steady drizzle's better than big.
Keep stuff coming every week to week. You got to keep coming week to week because it's a battle royale game. The attention span is like.
I mean, you could just do a PUBG update once every 3 months and hope you have a fan base there to play it. I mean,
exactly.
There you go.
I don't think 2 weeks is too hard. Maybe if you jump to once a week, if you're like
2 weeks is too hard if you haven't done it yet.
Yes,
I agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, once you do it and then you remove it, then that's when people get super pissed. But the thing is, if you ever like look at a development cycle, a week should be the time that you have to just test the thing that you're trying to push. At least
you can't test it. You can't test it on Monday and Tuesday. Have your fix by Friday, and then shoot it out on Sunday.
It's just it's very, and that's why these people are working these ungodly hours, and because they're trying to keep up with what they're supposed to do. Because I mean, there's guaranteed there's a quality level that they have to hit. They're not going to push an update that's going to break the game. They're not going to push something that's going to embarrass the company. So, I mean, they do accidentally. They don't intend. No one intends to do that. So there's a checklist, or there's a quality guide that they have to hit, and if they don't hit that mark, I mean, it makes the company look bad. So, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Yeah. Except for Janet in customer service. We love you, Janet. We know you work hard every
Wow. 4 out of 5 of us do. Again, folks, Spectator Gaming, find him. Janet, we're sorry.
So going into, I guess, the last major topic, Bungie losing four major developers in the same month.
High level.
But it's amicable, apparently. It's people that are welcome back to the company whenever they want. What do you guys think's going on with this? Like, these lead developer, what have they lost so far? They lost the raid developer,
raid guy,
the
storyline developer, the gun balance the gun developer, and one other guy. So, like, what do you guys, are you guys reading the fact that they're coming out and saying, hey, like, I can go back whenever I want? Is that like a PR move because they're so bought into Destiny? Do you think
it's all PR?
Do you think they got DOS boot and they're just trying to do their best to save the game and the time they put on? Or
I don't think they got the boot.
I think they got the DOS quit. Yeah.
Yep. Jump ship.
Yeah. You
can just I think they're just basically getting the fuck out of there before that shit is destroyed even more.
Yep.
With their names attached to it.
So Destiny 3 is supposed to be that hot thing that's around the corner that is going to save Bungie as a solo studio, blah, blah, blah. Do you even hear people talking about Destiny 2 anymore? Like, there was an update. There was a big update that just happened in the Revelry. No one talked about it. No one was streaming it.
I saw a Twitter post that the update was like 16 gigs, and it was like WTF ? And that was the only thing I've seen about Destiny 2 in like 6 months.
Yeah, man, it's tough. That is a sinking ship, and unfortunately, I love Destiny. Destiny's one of my favorite games. We all kind of found each other with Destiny. Man, there's right now I can't even be bothered to watch a Destiny video. I can't be bothered to turn on a Destiny stream because it's just not interesting right now. And until a major change happens that's going to grab everyone's attention, such as a new game, it's just not going to happen. I don't care what updates they're putting now. They could say, I got a new Galahorn Last Word coming out. It's going to be sick. And I'd be like, that's cool. And it just would not pull me in.
I played 3 hours of Destiny 2 this morning, and I'm telling you, it's just not much to it.
Yeah.
It's not exciting.
Yeah, so I think the devs that are leaving now, they can recognize that. These are senior developers. They've been in the see when a game is losing traction, lost traction. They don't want that on their resume that they were part of a shit game. Destiny had its highlight, and it's still in good graces-ish with the gaming community. You don't want to be a part of the jalopy as it falls apart.
Well, and who knows what the atmosphere in there is since Activision divorced it. Right. That could be, the climate could be God knows
just
what.
Toxic. Yeah.
And Bungie's pretty good about keeping the lid on their climate inside their own studios. They're one of the companies that's been good at that.
They got one of those "you talk, you're fired" clauses in like every contract.
But you're always welcome back.
Right.
But the thing is who knows what's going on? I mean, that place could be on fire, and people are just like it. Yeah, people are just jumping ship. I think that's what this is. I really do.
So let me ask you.
Of course, they're welcome back.
Let me end my industry the nosedive of the industry segment with this. You look at Blizzard, WoW reporting record low subscription base. You look at Guild Wars 2 reporting closing down 4 or 5 of their servers because of lack of players. Star Wars: The Old Republic, same thing. They just had an expansion release, and it was like the worst selling expansion. You look at Destiny, you look at Anthem, you look at Tom Clancy's The Division, which started off hot, not doing so well now. Do you think this MMO genre is just dead? Do you think it's just dying?
No, it's just not interesting right now.
Do you think?
What I think the problem is mailing in content is not working anymore. Mm-hmm. The gaming community and the consumer in general is not going to accept substandard product just because it has a name attached to it and hyped up for years. Anthem's a prime example. Anthem gameplay was dropped multiple years ago, 3 years ago. The game has been hyped up beyond belief, and people have this image in their head of how badass this game is going to be, how great it's going to be. The gameplay footage from 2 E3s ago was amazing. The flying and the game design and everything. And then the game comes out and we find it's just a loop, and then the higher level difficulties mean absolutely nothing, and that's it. And I haven't heard anything from Anthem since. And so you launch this hyped up game, have zero substance behind it, and that's with every game I've seen so far. Apex was one of them. It blew up because there's such a hype around the first initial week. The game had huge streamers behind it, everything. The only update that I've really seen has been quality of life updating, a couple balancing, a new character, and that's it. It's tough. And as a developer, I'm sure it's tough that you need to put out quality content all the time and live up to promises and listen to your feedback from the community. And you better deliver, or else people are going to jump ship real quick.
I think what's happened. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sector.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I think my perspective is a little bit different. I think MMO industry is dying, and I think it's because you look at games that have these super hyper, like Far Cry series is a great example. Like every Far Cry game you play, the storyline is so developed. It's so well done. You look at like Red Dead Redemption, Grand Theft Auto, these games that come out every couple of years. I think they do a really good job of developing like the storyline, and they get like it's really sucked in, but it doesn't have a high replay value. Like I played World of Warcraft for years, right? So like I think it was really good when you were trying to figure out the story, and now the story's kind of concluded, and then now they've gone back and they've deleted the conclusion, and they're like, oh, let's cash grab this some more. Star Wars: The Old Republic, same thing. Their storyline's kind of concluded. So I think the MMO genre is dying because you're trying to spread out a storyline over 10, 15 years rather than just having it done the day the game launches. And I think the community is just sick and tired of throwing $15 a month, $12 a month at a subscription to just do the same crap over and over again, when you have games like battle royales that are different every time, or you've got games like Red Dead Redemption 2 and Far Cry that are different. You play it, it's done, it's over, you move on to the next game. I think the MMO genre is dying, and they need somebody to step in that kind of revolutionizes what we've been seeing for the last 20 years.
Gearbox.
I think that the MMO genre is here to stay. It's proven to be successful. It's proven to be profitable over decades of content through mini games. I think it's here to stay. There are people that are always going to want that. They're always going to gravitate towards it. I think that what has happened and what you're seeing now is people have just shit in a box and charge you $100 for it.
Yep.
And that is the industry, and that's where we've come to. And I think that this culling that's happening right now with BioWare, with EA, and even all this crazy stuff that's going on with Fortnite and everything else. I mean, you with the Epic and their workstations there, you're going to see it coming back around again with somebody who's going to say, we're putting out a finished game, we're putting it out for cheap, or we're putting it out all inclusive, everything from here on out.
Yep.
And I think you'll see it pretty fucking soon.
I agree.
This is the extinction event that dinosaurs are here. Meteor.
Yep.
Outgame people. Gaming where it's at right now. There's going to be a meteor, which is all this backlash from the MMO genre and dev shit. Now I think from the ashes, a phoenix of gaming shall rise, and it'll be a better situation.
We have found ourselves in this situation because the gamer has gotten more and more ADD and more demanding of the content that they want. They need more of it, and they want better quality of it. And then you have these developers that are scrambling. These companies are scrambling to keep up, and it's just this vicious cycle that has brought us to where we are, which basically means we're going to have to do a scorched earth kind of setup on this genre of game. And then the rising phoenix, there's going to be one game that comes out, and it's going to be polished, it's going to be well thought out, it's going to be well funded, and it's going to be well executed. And it's going to, I hate to say it, but it'll probably restart the whole goddamn process over again. Yeah. And in another 15, 20 years, we'll find ourselves waiting for the next phoenix to rise out. But I don't know. And I would like to see, to be honest, I'd like to see. I know I love a pretty game, but I'm seeing a rise of indie style looking games. These pixelated, these cell shaded. Right? What Solid plays a shit ton of and loves to death. I think we're going to have a game that comes out of that caliber, but in the same artistic vein of that. And I think that'll be a really eye-opening experience.
Yeah, I think dying is the right word. I think dead is definitely the wrong word. I think these games are dying, and exactly what you guys said. I think you have people in position that are making business decisions and not entertainment decisions. I mean, there's how many times have we talked about people at Blizzard saying, like, yeah, we told them this is what the fans want. We told them this is what we want to do. And they said that's not financially the way we want to go. So, yeah, I agree. I think dying, not dead, is the right word. I think Guild Wars 2, I mean, every MMO that's out there now, they're all, I mean, WoW did their stupid pet shop. Like, that's when people started really getting pissed off. It's like, you gave us half of an expansion pack and you want us to pay $35 for a flying mount that we can't even fly in this game with yet. So, like, I think, yeah, I agree. I think we'll see a game rise up, and maybe it's from the indie world. Who knows? Take over.
I think there's one game coming up that has definitely got...
Hell yeah.
It's sort of pegged on the meter where you're getting a real company where the chief, the CEO, is involved at every level.
Mm-hmm.
And that may be King.
Hell yeah, this is Randy fucking Pitchford, man. Dude's a boss. Doing magic tricks, bringing people on stage, pulling cards out of shirts and shit. You want to talk about a game that is hype? You want to talk about a game that has some sticking power? A franchise? Border fucking Lands,
Pokemon?
Man. Well, that too, but shut your mouth. We're talking about Borderlands right now. And there was a reveal stream today. Oh, Jesus. Adam and I stayed up late in the afternoon of 1 p.m., watched it. It was amazing, man. Like, you want to talk about hype? That game is going to be a hype train that you cannot even catch a hold of, because watching that, you guys have been talking about all these MMOs dying, what game's going to be next, art styles, blah, blah, blah. Cell-shaded, awesome game. Borderlands has no competition right now. You want to talk about MMOs being slow, what's going to be the next thing? Well, Borderlands has already had a community behind it since Borderlands 1 launched, which I don't even remember when that was. It was a hell of a long time ago.
Like 2012?
Long time ago. And this game now, Borderlands 3, with this reveal stream that happened today, just first impressions alone. This is the first time we saw some real, actual gameplay. They had 200 people or 200 stations there set up that people got to play. There was a ton of streamers there being able to broadcast on their channels. First impressions of the game, it looks amazing. It's still a cel-shaded Borderlands style, but the just fidelity of everything is amazing. The way the character interacts with the environment is amazing. The abilities looked awesome. We only saw 2 classes today, which were the Siren, the Melee Siren, and the Commando. And they both looked great. Both subclasses looked super fun to play. Those classes have already been done before in the game, but they seem completely different than the past iterations of those 2 classes. So, we talk about these recycled games and riding on the coattails of other ones, but this is a totally just a sequel, but it seems like a completely different game.
Here's where this gaming industry has me right now.
You stole my thunder. Go ahead.
I'm nervous about this game. Like, the gaming industry has made me so untrusting that I'm like, this game is just going to flop, and I don't want it to. I want it to be amazing, but this is where the industry has me. This reminds me of Mass Effect Andromeda. It was hyped up. This was going to be the greatest conclusion to a series ever. It's going to be amazing, and the game freaking bombed from day one. It's just where the industry has me right now.
I'm not that negative. I am hesitant, and there are fewer and fewer names that I will immediately salivate for their product. And I think that's more along the lines of what you're saying. Like, I was excited for Anthem because BioWare, but now BioWare has pretty much lost all clout.
Yep.
But I'm, Borderlands is a very solid AAA title. I am super excited about this game, but I do share a little bit of hesitance just because I don't want another legacy to fall.
Yeah,
I really don't.
You guys need. You need some Torg in your life. Oh, yeah.
Boys, I'm telling you,
This industry has me, man.
Borderlands is the reason Destiny was like so popular, because Borderlands 2 was out, right? We all played that, and we were like, "Oh man, we really want another Borderlands." Borderlands pre-sequel sucked because it wasn't. It didn't have the same things that they had Borderlands 1 and 2. They didn't have the bosses. They didn't have like the extra stuff that made those games great.
Stupid oxygen tanks.
Yeah, I mean that stuff is cool in like limited quantities. And then Destiny came out and it was touted as Borderlands Halo. And everyone was like, holy shit, let's do this. And then it never was. And then it still never was.
But they were sponsored by Taco Bell. It has to be good, right?
Yeah, it had to stay.
Like it's I think once Borderlands 3 like actually comes out, I'm pretty sure that everyone's gonna be like, oh shit, that's what we need to be making.
Yeah.
Like,
and I pray with every ounce of soul in my body that is accurate. But we have been hurt before as a gaming industry. These games that have come out that have hyped up. I'm really nervous about Borderlands 3. I want to be a believer. I do.
Randy Pitchford came on stage today and he said, "We're not putting out a bad product. What we have is a finished game.
Yep.
We took our time to make it. We're putting it out completely finished. We're not doing any microtransactions. We'll have some DLC, but the game as it is a finished game, and that's what you get."
Some of the coolest things that I saw from this stream today that really stuck out to me, that made me very hyped about this game, and something that I see as solid sticking power. Borderlands has always been about co-op play. You can say Destiny's all about co-op play. It has a big solo element. You can say, your Red Deads have co-op play, but most of these are solo games. So one of the best co-op things I saw today in the stream that I'm sure Adam will echo here is the co-op scaling. What happened in the previous Borderlands game is if I'm level 60, 72, I'm super high up in the level range, I jump into Adam's level 4 game, I'm one-shotting everything with a little infinity pistol, blowing away everything in the game because I'm super high level. That's good for Adam because I can go through and blast through the story for him. But if he jumps in my game, he's getting one shot by a bug. And so that's tough. And it'd be good for kind of maxing up somebody's character who's very low but cannot go vice versa. And now what's happening is with co-op scaling, if I'm level 72, Adam jumps in my game at level 4, all the enemies in that game scale to his level. And either, I'm not sure which way it goes, either he does improved damage or they do reduced damage, but every enemy in that game will affect and be affected the same by me and him at the same time.
Didn't Destiny do that with light level?
I don't think...
There's been a few. I know WoW does it. I know WoW does.
Did that, yeah.
I'm waiting for a Warhammer Online. Did you guys ever play Warhammer Online? If you went to an area where you were more than 10 levels high, you just turned into a freaking chicken. You had 2 abilities, but you were just a chicken.
Yeah. So this one, what also with the co-op scaling, there's also loot instancing and upscaling of loot. So say Adam and I are playing together. He's level 4, I'm level 72. A legendary item drops from a chest. He now can get that legendary item in that instance at level 4. So he can use that legendary gun that just dropped, the same one I'm using, same stats, just scaled down to his level.
What, scale as he levels?
And you get it at level 72.
Correct. We get the same gun.
Loot stealing.
Yes. And it's instant loot. So each person gets a copy of it.
Oh,
that's kind of cool.
Yes, that way you don't have to dupe loot anymore. That used to be a big thing in Borderlands 2. Like if I picked up a 94% sham, I was the one that got it, and everybody else can fuck themselves.
So you don't have to go put it in your freaking mailbox until you get to max light level, so you could use it like in Destiny.
No, it's yours. You're using it. Day one, you're using it, and that's cool.
You'll have to get it again when you level up, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's level capped at what you got it at, but as a max level character, if I'm bringing my buddy through and good shit's dropping, my buddy just got all that good shit, and now he has an easier time game.
Now, if you don't like that, you can play it on the old level.
Classic mode. And that is the way that you can take your level 72 friend and have him blow through levels and get you way up to 72 quickly, and then turn it back into current mode, whatever they want to call it. And then you're all loot scaled and ship shape. So that was awesome. I think that was one of the big things. The no thing was really cool. I think that's a great business model. People are tired of microtransactions.
Was there a
game out right now?
Was there a yet in parentheses on the screen?
There was not a yet.
Oh, that's exciting.
Which surprises me though, because they had all those extra skins and heads and shit that you can buy.
That is a thing you can buy. There's no in-game game stuff besides cosmetics.
Right. So there's still microtransactions technically.
Well, yes and no. So you can buy a skin pack, you can buy expansions to story modes, but you cannot buy in-game like currency. You can't buy items in game. So I'm fine with that. If I am not going to have access to a skin pack, I don't give a shit. It's the in-game, your exotic sparrows and your emotes and stuff like that so I won't have access to unless I spend silver.
But why that is brilliant, the reason that is brilliant is because they're following, Fortnite has proven that people will spend a god ton amount of money on just freaking skins.
Yeah.
And now you got Borderlands, and you're like, we're just gonna give you guys skins. They're gonna be cool. You can buy them if you want, and they're gonna make like a freaking $8 billion off this, just selling skins and dance moves.
I would much rather have that, and I wish that was a thing. Fortnite, you can still buy battle passes, and that's in-game stuff. Like that,
it doesn't impact the game at all.
Right? No, it's not items, but that's in-game stuff, and you're buying a battle pass.
And their last 2 battle passes were free in their defense.
Fortnite sucks. They do slave labor 100-hour weeks. So,
only to minorities, they said.
The other thing, yes, and women.
Love you, Janet.
Women in HR.
That's Riot. That's Riot Games.
So the other thing that really got me jazzed about today was a Twitch extension. And this Twitch extension is for, I believe, we don't know yet. I'm assuming it'll be for partners.
I bet it's partners.
I'm assuming it'll be a partner-only thing. And what it is say Adam's partnered streamer, could be an affiliate, who knows. But Adam's playing the game. He has 400 people watching him. As he kills a boss, you shut your mouth. As he goes through and kills the boss, he opens it's called a rare chest. It's the red chests that are throughout the game. He opens that chest at the end. Everybody watching that has this extension on their Twitch gets a little notification that pops up that says rare chest event? Rare chest event.
Shift.
Yes, you need to have a Shift account and you need to have this extension installed on Twitch. So the rare chest event happens and you can opt into this event and you get, and Adam and I did this, 12 times, I think, during the stream today. And you get a chance at the loot that streamer just picked up. The exact loot. So if that chest opens up, it's 2 blues and a legendary, which is gold now.
I'm thinking like a 2% chance.
Oh, it's low. It's real low. Because we were in there and there was one time that streamer we were watching had 12,000 people enter that loot instance, that chest event. 321 people got it out of 12,000. We then went into a streamer that was a super small streamer that had 31 people enter, and I think only 3 or 4 people got it. So I don't know if it scales to what it is, if it's a set percentage, but it's a lower chance, and it makes
4 choices when you win.
Yes, it is multiple choice. So when the streamer opens the box and there's 4 different guns there, guns and grenades, whatever, a little screen pops up and it's Marcus from the game that says you won the event, and you get to choose which item out of that loot box you want to pick.
So it rewards you with in-game currency for watching streamers.
In-game items.
That is genius.
It's amazing.
That's awesome.
It's a completely game-changing thing. And so Adam got 3 pieces of loot. I had 2 pieces that we won during this event. And all it does is you pick which item you want. It goes right to, like right now before the game launches, it'll go right to your Shift account. And then day 1, when Borderlands 3 launches, Ab and I can go to our mailbox and open that up. Or wait, because it scales to what level you open it at. And so we'll go in, say day 1, we're itching for that loot. We'll go in, open that mailbox, and those items that we got in this next few months, will be right there for us to take. Or we can wait until we're level 10, 20, 30, 40, and that item that's in there will scale up to our level. And this is, I'm assuming, going to be going forward. It wasn't just this event. It's for Borderlands streams now. Like, if once the game's been out for a few months and people are at end game content and streaming this, people are unlocking these crazy items. you can watch their stream. They open up this chest, and there's a rare item that you as a player might not have the skill to get in game, but because you're watching Adam 12 on Twitch and he just got that item, you enter that loot box chance and you win. You just got that item. It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. And it was like we were watching. Adam and I both had 6 streams up at once, and we were clicking between each one, waiting for the person to open a chest. And damn it! Oh God, we missed it and didn't win that one. And the next one, when you won an event, it was, and you got to pick your loot. So cool. That was the coolest thing.
Lights out too. You talk about excitement.
Awesome. And besides the in-game changes they made with just the physics of the game, now the barrels, you can punch the barrels, throw them across the room, and explode them on enemies. The guns, the cover, the cover was destructible. The environments were destructible. The gun sounds were amazing. I think the sound design was one of the best I've heard in a game recently. The alt fire mode, the humor's all still there. The typical Borderlands humor. The alt fire modes for the guns. So certain guns, like that little Vladov pistol, shoots like a pistol, but there's an alt fire mode where it has little zip rockets and it empties a whole clip of little zip rockets that went out and killed enemies. So the walking guns thing that people saw that we're all hyped about is not a class ability. That is a Theodore weapon ability. So it's a different manufacturer of gun in the game. You reload, and instead of, like in Borderlands 2, the Theodore weapons you'd throw and they would just explode. Well, certain Theodore weapons explode into little Merv grenades, or this one we saw, you reload and it turns into a little gun with legs that runs around, shoots people. It's amazing what they've done with this game.
Bouncing beach ball that explodes.
Yep, the beach ball, the little brain robot that came out with one of the boss weapons. Amazing, awesome stuff. And all this is what was the other thing we were looking at, Adam, that was there? The
alt fire, you can do different on some of the different elements.
Yep, change elements on guns. Cool stuff. I'm super excited for this game, guys. This is going to be a super neat, game-changing game, and especially with this Twitch stuff. Awesome. We have the crowd control gaming now. That's kind of fresh, but when you have crowd sharing games, that's awesome.
I hope it's I think it's only going to be
I don't know how I feel about that, because it just seems like an avenue for people to take advantage of things, or you're developing a community of hollowness. Yeah. I think it's a double-edged sword. I love that you guys are excited about it, but how connected to the streamer are you, or how connected to the chance at just getting shit?
Yep. And so what we were saying the whole time was this is going to be amazing for small streamers, because it's going to take, like, say I decided to start streaming. I have 5 followers, but I post on the Twitch directory, King Dawes 1 farming for this item, super rare item in the game. I now have 8,000 people watching me because they all want that game. That gun, in the game. But as soon as I stop streaming, no one's following me. No one's, sticking around, because I'm done providing a service for them. So
not all the time, though.
No, I'm sure there'll be people. So people will stick around, and I think it's going to be very good for small streamers. Even more beneficial for big streamers, because they have the time to dedicate into doing these farming runs for hours and hours and hours, and people will stick around and follow.
Yeah, but
that's why churches have donuts.
You're auditioning now. Like it.
Yeah, I mean it's free. It's a free audience.
Yeah, like
absolutely.
You're auditioning. I mean, if you can turn 1% of that 8,000 people into a follower, like,
oh hell yeah,
it was worth it. It's an audition.
Yeah,
it's a job interview.
And that's why I'm excited for it, because I think it's gonna be great for the whole community to get the exposure of, me saying King Dawes 1 farming for this gun, and then I have all these people watching me, and like you said, even 1% sticks around. If 0.5% sticks around, I just gained followers, which is the whole goal.
Yeah, it's good on streamers. It's good on Borderlands. Yeah. It's good on Twitch.
Yep,
it sticks it to Mixer in a big way.
Sets it apart.
I don't know. We'll see how, because when you give it to the masses, man, the masses break shit. They twist shit. They shit on shit.
They open 9 windows and watch 9 different streamers.
And then like, oh, you're not doing this. Well, you're a shitty streamer. You should go kill yourself. I'm DDoXing you, and you're getting swatted. I mean, there's gonna be some super.
There were times today when stupid streamers would stand there at the red chest, and it says X to open, and they're just standing there talking about dumb shit.
Put this on the web. Fuck you, Mav Show.
Oh yeah, that was bad.
She went and got some candy out of her purse while she was standing in front of the red chest opening.
It said open chest,
you.
and there was like a couple hundred people watching, and she was sitting there with her purse and like fishing out a hard candy.
Good on the streamer. Good on the streamer though. I mean, you recognize like the toxic people who are just there for the chest.
Oh sure, yeah. Play around with it. That's hilarious.
Have some fun with it.
Yeah.
So like, I'll open this chest. The first person that donates 5,000 bits. That's how that's gonna go. Guarantee it.
I mean, I just see a slippery slope.
And then that's gonna be in the terms and conditions of Twitch next month.
Well, and that shit's going on in Borderlands too. You have people paying for duped weapons. It's just gonna happen. That's gaming. That's people min-maxing. It's people pay to win. It's all that shit.
It's the same thing as
stop that.
I'll take my shirt off for $100. Same thing that was going on IRL channel.
I'll pay 200 for that.
Before you know it, you're going to be in the back alley opening up crates for people naked.
Yeah.
While they diddle your butthole.
That took a dark turn.
Right back to Disney.
Jesus, sorry, Karen at HR. So yeah, man, Borderlands is going to be hot stuff. Check out the VIP program on their website. You get some free stuff doing that in game. You earn points to unlock stuff in the game.
Do we need to use your creator code KingDOS1?
Yeah, there is no creator code KingDOS1. So
everyone, unlike
yeah, exactly. Evil Fortnite. So all right, that's enough Borderlands hype for right now. You and I were sharing some wholesome moments today.
It was fantastic. I loved it.
You guys seem less than thrilled than we are. Solid, how do you feel about it? You've been kind of silent.
I'm literally going to be watching it after this. So
cool.
I've been trying to tune you out as much as possible.
The first boss and the second boss. The second boss is pretty cool, but the first one
we didn't see them fight the first boss.
Yeah, we did.
I mean, I've been saying this.
Oh yeah,
I've been saying this for years. Like Borderlands 3 is all I've been waiting for. So I'm just gonna continue to wait until it comes out. I already took the day off of work. I'm literally building the PC for it. So
that's awesome.
I will be there playing that shit.
Yep.
It looks great.
Yeah.
It's just waiting for it is just gonna be like I've already seen like a couple of like the the shots of like the city or whatever level that's gonna be.
There were a ton of different levels.
Dude, that shit just looks so fucking mind-blowingly cool. Like I can't fucking wait to play it. No, I haven't seen any of the
Sanctuary
videos yet,
sick.
dude.
Sanctuary super cool.
I'm watching it after this.
Yeah, super cool. There's a ton of characters. Like pretty much all the characters from the Borderlands series are in this game. All the originals. Ellie's back and Hammerlock. Hammerlock's cool.
Pissed from Tails.
Pissed from Tails.
I can't.
Yes, yes. Tails of Borderlands. Yeah. No, and Hammerlock's back, which is a cool thing. The robot butler adventurer guy. There's actually a mode that he does where you go out and bounty hunt different animals, and you can put them up on his wall, their heads, like trophies. And there's also personal quarters now, which what you can do is as your character, you go into a section of a ship and like a warframe kind of personal quarters, and you can decorate it how you want. It's kind of themed towards your character. Like we saw one that was the siren, and it was all kind of purpley and wavy. And on the walls, there's different plaques that you can put your guns on. So if you found a super rare gun in the game, you can actually store it right there in your personal quarters on the wall, show it off. So super.
And then pick it up to take it back out when you want to.
Yeah, take it out, go blow some shit up, and then put it back on the wall when you're done.
Like a vault.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
There's
little trophy room.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of cool.
So I am fully erect at the moment. I need to settle down. Let's talk about some D&D so I can get less erect, but still quite still.
But let me throw in there real quick. They have nerfed a couple of Destiny weapons, as Destiny does. Would you like to take that?
No, go for it.
All right, so Luna's Howl and Not Forgotten, two of the hardest weapons in Destiny to get. Not Forgotten, not as hard now. Once they make it super easy, right?
No, it was very hard.
It was, but then
harder than Luna
pop up all the time, right?
No, that's not that.
What was that?
Not Forgotten is the super.
Malfeasance.
Malfeasance. Yeah.
So yeah, Not Forgotten and Luna's Howl. They are nerfing those.
Yep.
Because they're too powerful and too strong, and people are mad.
Time to kill is too fast. They're taking them from a 180 hand cannon, which is the fastest firing hand cannon in the game, which is a quick 2-head, 1 body is a kill. Now they're changing both guns to a 150 RPM, which is going to shorten or lengthen the time to kill and they're also going to do 150 damage. So it's not like you can do two head, one. Yes, it's 2 head, 1 body still, but you can't do 1 head, 2 body anymore. So like if you do a quick 2 burst on one guy and then 1 tap, it used to be that you could do a 2 burst on one guy and then tap on the next one. Now it's a 2 burst and you still have to 3 burst the next guy. So it's they definitely nerfed it. It's going to be not as prevalent. It'll still be awesome. It's still a pinnacle weapon, but the guns itself, you're not going to see people charging $900 anymore to get Not Forgotten carries. So the Whiners won. The Whiners won.
Win again at Bungie.
Yeah.
Whiners always win at Bungie.
Oh yeah. Must have Gallarhorn. I don't have Gallarhorn.
Oh, I guess you're not running this raid then, bro. Peace.
Yeah. So the Whiners win. And that's another thing, that's wrong with the gaming industry. You're letting the Whiners win. And I understand trying to make your community happy, but what's there to reward you diehard fans?
Yeah.
Like there's people who actually earned Luna's Howl, and Not Forgotten.
Well,
and
they're tough to get. That's
they're tough to get because they're awesome guns. You have to be good to get them. Get good. Yeah. Or have a big wallet. I don't care which one, but either way, you got to put some time and effort into it. And, you're going to make it so these pinnacle weapons aren't so pinnacle. They're just like slightly above average. And why do I want to put 1,000 hours into a game to get a gun that is like compared to everything else?
Sure.
So you're just dumbing down the game.
Yep.
So yes, I'm a DU all day. And so last week, boys, I asked the question. I think Adam, you were gone probably. You were on death's. You were on death's door. So you're back,
Saving
obviously.
throw?
Yeah, he rolled a successful saving throw.
I did 3 successful saving throws. Yeah.
He rolled 2 bad ones. Came back. Yeah. And so, all right. Anyways, my question was, maybe Adam, you can answer this now. Can you cast command on a creature after a party member has also cast command on it? We use the hypothetical situation of, hey, Solid, go get me a beer. I just commanded him. But then Poop says, hey, no, go get me a beer. Who does he listen to?
Adam answered that in chat. He said, hell no.
Did you have the thing where, because I was assuming in chat that the first one was a fail.
No, both successes. I successfully commanded Solid to go get a beer. Then Poop says, hey, no, man, go get a beer for me. Who does he listen to? Does he continue going to get my beer, or does he stop and go get Poop's beer?
You guys run it around. Ask each person. Who's answering?
Solid, go ahead. Whose beer are you getting?
I'm not getting anybody's beer. I'm getting whoever's beer I was commanded to first. And once I'm done with that task, then I'm susceptible to more commands.
Okay. You're wrong, but okay. Go ahead. Poop, your answer.
I equated it back to the rebound that we had earlier a couple episodes ago.
You answered the touch C's last C's rule.
Yeah, the most recent command sticks.
Yep. You're right. Spectator, go ahead.
I think I was similar to Poop. Whoever's turn is closest to Solid's, so whoever said it most recent, closest to Solid's turn would be the one.
Yes.
And
so
I was Solid as a DM. I said, hell no, the first person gets it, and then the second person can go fuck himself and wait until the first one's done.
All right. Well, you're gonna have to house rule that because it's wrong. The answer is yes. You can cast command on someone that has already been commanded, but the caveat is the last command spell takes priority unless the first command spell is cast at a higher level. In that case, the higher cast command spell takes priority. Okay. So if I cast command at level 1,
that makes total sense.
Goes to get my beer, but then Poop says, no, go get my beer. He goes to get Poop a beer because he said it last. But if I cast it at a level 2 spell and say, go get my goddamn beer, and Poop says, go get me a beer, Solid's going to get my beer because I cast it at a higher level.
So
I'm drinking a lot of beer before I get back with your guys.
I was about to say, we're not getting any beer.
So the person casted this is Titan Creek using a level 5 command creature to go get beer.
Burn those high level spell slots. 9th level spell, go get me a motherfucking beer, and you will get your beer.
And then later we'll hear, I don't have any spells.
Yeah, you're gonna say, "Oh man, that wish spell would have been cool," but I got a beer. So that is the answer to that question. This week's question is an easy one. Wanted to ease everybody back into it. Adam, get your brain back into the D&D mode after being absent for so long. This actually might throw Poop for a loop. He's on a winning a poop loop. Don't eat those. Not as good as Fruit Loops, I promise you that. So this is actually kind of a stickler on the rules. And so,
which you guys obviously aren't, because I've been winning these. And
you've been crushing it. You've been crushing it. I'm interested to see if this week you do as well. I'm going to have you answer.
I answer what? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to have you answer first, so that way you aren't influenced by these other rules lawyers here.
They're on.
So the question is pushing or dragging a grappled creature subject to the carrying capacity rules? Now, ask me questions if you wish to elaborate.
Just say it again, please.
Is pushing or dragging a grappled creature subject to the carrying capacity rules?
I need a kind of a crash course.
All right, let me. Rules. So quickly, let's use some quick role play again. I myself go up, grab Solid, wrap him up.
Okay.
Now I can drag him or push him at will because he's grappled by me. He might have to make it a strength check or whatever, but I'm pushing him around and say I'm successful and I throw him on my shoulder. But I am a 4 foot tall halfling with a carrying capacity of only like 200 pounds. Usually the carrying capacity is like 1.5 times your weight, or different classes have different abilities, but we'll go with a standard like 1.5 times. So I'm carrying this 200-pound guy on me. All of a sudden, he actually turns into a 600-pound big werebear. So he's on my shoulder. He's still grappled, but because he's so heavy and I can't normally pick something up that's 600 pounds, can I still move him around?
So were you given two scenarios there? He just suddenly turned into it, or is that part of the equation?
He was 600 pounds when I came after him.
Okay, so
pretty accurate.
But I was successful in the grapple, and so I got him to the ground. So is my grapple situation going to override my carrying capacity situation?
So okay, so you're asking. I would say no, because they're two separate things.
Okay.
Like the action to grapple, success. Now, how the fuck am I going to carry this asshole?
Yep.
Gotcha. I would say that they're not related. And so if you grapple it, now you got to figure out, if you shoot it, now you got to figure out how to bring it home to eat it.
That's a big deer in the woods. We got to figure out how to get out of the woods.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So your answer is no. You're the grappled creature is subject to the carrying capacity rules.
Sure, because it's incapacitated. It's now cargo.
Yeah.
Or it's not incapacitated. It's cargo.
Yep. So it's cargo, but you still got to carry it, is what you're saying.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, is there a variant or a variable concerning whether it's on your shoulder or actually physically dragging it? Because the weight to drag versus the weight to fully carry. I mean, am I nitpicking here, or is that
a little bit?
Okay, I'll back off then. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right, next Sectator, go. What do you think?
I think I'm along the similar lines. Like if you pass my challenge rating to grapple the 600-pound werebear, fine, he's grappled. But if you want to pull or drag him, you're gonna need a nat 20 roll or be within your carrying capacity. Like it's. Gotcha. I'm as a DM, I wouldn't let you drag that.
Right. So me as a human's not able to pick up a grappled Trask.
Yeah. If you want to tackle him, fine. Tackle him. That's fine. Congratulations, you passed the crit up. But if you want to drag him 800 feet back to camp, good luck.
Okay. Solid.
Yep. You definitely can. And yes, it is subject to the carrying capacity rules, because there are very specific tables for push, pull, and drag.
And lift.
Correct.
lift as well. Adam?
Yep. So grapple itself, it only says size.
Yep.
Similar size. It says nothing about weight. If you're considering that to be a second action, pushing them, carrying them, especially the carrying part.
Yep.
There are tables for it. I would say, as in my campaign, I would allow you to push them or pull them without problem. I think if you want to pick them up and throw them over your shoulder, then I would have to invoke the carrying capacity.
How heavy is that guy?
Yeah, but because pushing somebody with momentum, pulling somebody is a lot easier than actually picking someone up and carrying them on your shoulder. So I would say I agree with everybody, except with the caveat of, I'm allowing it if it's push or pull.
So you all answered the exact same in different ways.
Okay.
You say yes, the grapple thing can happen, but you still have to pay attention to how heavy the thing is and have it be physically possible.
Yes.
All right. Some of you are right.
We all answered the same. How are some of us right?
I didn't say some of you are wrong, so
tune in next week to find out.
So yes, we'll have the answer next week.
That's a worse cliffhanger.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Click
2 weeks.
Take it over the internet. Press here to find out how.
Yep, get your loot chest. So yes, guys, we will talk about that next week. One thing. Vox Machina's Kickstarter finally concluded. I don't know if we talked about that or not. $11.5 million, something like that. 11.7, something like that. Whatever.
Pocket change.
Crazy awesome. They're doing a full.
Have they said what they're going to do with it? They're just going to do the one episode still, or they're going to make it?
No, they're doing a whole 10-episode series. They're doing another completely separate storyline that they're going to animate. So it's like they went full fucking.
They're going to do it all.
Hollywood on it. Yeah, they're doing all kinds. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. And the only thing is, it's not coming until I think they said late 2020 was when they were going to start to have actual material. But obviously, you got to animate now hundreds of minutes of studio quality animation. So yeah, it's crazy. So awesome stuff. The fantasy community really rallied around that.
Yeah, for sure. Deep pockets. Thanks, nerds.
Thanks, nerds. But not you, CSRs. You guys suck.
And not you, Janet, and customer service. Only Sectator hates you.
Yeah.
We knew you scored well in the SAT. All
right. I'll keep it short and sweet. A lot of the stuff that I was going to talk about actually got touched on in other groups. So if you're an Apex fan, the first details of Season 2 are going to be announced at EA Play in June, just before E3. So basically that's going to be the little pep rally for EA prior to E3, since they're not going to do a big thing at E3. What to expect is a battle pass with more meaningful content, a new legend, a new weapon, and I believe he teased changes to Kings Canyon map. I do not personally know what those changes could or would be, since I haven't stepped into Apex in about a month. But I do know that the general populace is getting a little bit antsy for some new things to look at as opposed to shoot. So I expect this to be well received. Now, because they are getting antsy, they felt like they needed to address that. And I think that's in lieu of all of the stuff that you've been seeing and what Sectators so dejectedly talked about and brought us down about. But there has been a rash of stuff happening in the dev world that Apex and they wanted to address. So they said Respawn is focusing on keeping a healthy studio culture and workplace. And they said the team is, they also brought up, I don't know how this correlates, but apparently there's some rumor of more Titanfall stuff. But they wanted to clarify that the Apex team is completely separate from the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order team. I believe there's been some rumors and some just basically the internet being the internet, and they wanted to clarify that there's just going to be one group on this and one group on this, and they're not going to be doing that bleeding back and forth that you commonly see with other devs. So I don't think anybody here really plays Apex much anymore. I personally haven't, but I do know that my friends that have played it, they're asking for more. And I know that they're kind of unhappy with some of the changes they did make to some of the weapons for balancing. So the honeymoon phase is definitely over for Apex.
Shroud spent 3.5 hours on stream opening CSGO loot crates.
Wow.
There you go.
Instead of playing Apex.
That's still a thing.
So Epic is back, but I'm going to talk about something a little bit more positive because basically we shat on it earlier with Fortnite. Tim Sweeney took to Twitter defending the 12% cut that Epic takes compared to Steam's say 30% in a Twitter feed that went on, and a user asked him if they would drop exclusivity. And he said, we would definitely consider it while honoring partner commitments. And that means anything that they've already previously made or, whatever money has changed hands for certain reasons for X amount of time. And they would consider putting their games on Steam as well if Steam dropped their rate. And I think that's a bold statement from a very strong company against another strong company. I don't know if anything will come of it, but I do hope something does. Steam is a beautiful platform, but it gouges publisher or developers.
It's the equivalent of Xbox calling out Sony last year for crossplay.
Yes,
it's exactly. Literally, oh, we want to do it, but they don't want to do it. Like, it's exactly what that was.
And I think it's good on the company to call another company out in a not a negative way necessarily, but to say, hey, look, together if we do this, we could make a more positive experience all around. It would benefit everyone. And sure, you wouldn't make as much money, but you're still going to make money, and you're going to have way more people on your platform to help you make that money. So I think it's definitely a move in the right direction. So that's all I have. And I know that we're really long on time, but I had to talk about this. How many of you guys have seen, we're not doing spoilers, but how many of you guys have seen Endgame? Came out last weekend.
Negative.
Seen it twice.
I'm the only one that has not.
I've seen it 3 times. I can't get enough of this. What's that, buddy?
Did you cry every time?
I have bawled I've cried more in the last 5 days than I did as like an infant. So, and I would like to say my inaugural viewing was with the gentleman in the red shirt, the sexy guy down there. It was fantastic. Had a great time. I wanted to throw some numbers at you because this has been not only a cinematic experience worthy of the title of like Star Wars-esque, popularity, but there have been some serious monetary numbers thrown around here. So let's do this first. You guys want to take a stab? How much money do you think opening weekend Endgame made?
Last time $50 million.
Last time I saw
million.
It was 1.2 billion.
850 million.
Okay. So I asked you to guess, Sectator. You suck at listening. You
no,
until Janet gets a hold of you.
No, that was literally, that number's old though. That's why I threw that number out there, because that was as of Sunday, which was 3 days ago.
Well, I saw the
1.2 billion.
Test.
And what was my question, Sectator? What did you expect the opening weekend to be? What did you think it would be?
So let me guess then a number that's not accurate because I knew the answer.
No.
Sectator's that guy in class.
$1.22 billion, and that's global. Guys, only 357 million was in North America. That means $1 billion in the first weekend was made internationally or foreign.
Wow.
That's mind-boggling.
Hey, real quick, the significance of that.
China.
How much did Disney pay for Marvel in 2009?
Oh, was it like $4 billion?
Yeah, one movie.
Like
one movie. They made 25%.
Quarter of their investment.
Yep.
Wow.
And
so
1 weekend.
Right now, I checked as of today, it's sitting at globally $1.48 billion.
Holy shit!
And China just got on a 4-day vacation nationwide, so that's probably going to help those numbers go a little bit higher. And it's at 427 million in North America. On Friday, what's that?
How many Aquaman is that?
Probably 1.2 billion.
A school of Aquaman.
It doubled Wakanda. An opening day.
Absolutely, it's blowing things out of the water here. So kind of some cool stats I thought were really cool. Just on Friday in North America, it was 157.5 million. Saturday was another 109 million.
100.
China just now, up to now, is almost 400 million by itself.
Whoa.
That is just mind-boggling. So we are over we're on track to be 2 billion this weekend. Currently, we're number 6 on all-time international, and we are already on the all-time list at number 8. And we expect if we hit that 2 billion mark, we'll topple Jurassic Park World, and we'll be up there with Infinity War. We'll pass Infinity War and start getting close to, like, you know, Cameron's 2 crowning jewels, which are up there, Avatar and Titanic. I mean, it is slated to take over Avatar. I mean, they are expecting it, and I think that's super cool.
Avatar wasn't even that great.
No,
it had his name.
Yeah, it was. It was super good.
It was really good, but I mean, Cameron sells movies, dude.
And the 3D movie price helped a lot with that huge number. That's why you can't touch it, because it's the only 3D movie to actually do well.
Yep.
Dumb.
It was a visually stunning movie when it first came out. It was gorgeous.
I saw that movie like 5 or 6 times. I was like drooling on the floor the first time I saw it. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
That's every day for you. Shut up.
Well,
so I wanted to throw those out there. I'm a huge Marvel Cinematic Universe fan. I love what they've done. 22 movies, 11 years, started back in 2008, and we're already here now. And we still have one more movie to go in phase 3.
I was gonna say we ain't even out of phase 3 yet.
Wakanda 2.
Wakanda 2.
No, it's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man in July, I believe. June,
Wakanda
July.
in New York.
Well, the other thing is Ant-Man signed on for a trilogy. Captain Marvel signed on for a trilogy. Spider-Man, they're gonna beat that pinata till it stops producing candy. And then you've got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and Volume 4 that they've signed on for.
As Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. So.
Aquaman 2 is dead in the water.
As we move on, I would like to see more, because, you know, they've been working with Fox and they've got some serious titles. You know, now they could be doing some Fantastic Four. I'd like to see a really good Fantastic Four.
Did you see the Marvel TV series?
Yes,
was it Sony's doing the Spider-Man TV series with Mobius, or is Mobius a movie? Anyway.
I hate all the Marvel show.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Well, Sony's hanging on to a lot of that Marvel.
Well, they see the cash cow that Marvel Studios has turned it into.
Yeah, but they're letting Marvel Studios do it, and they're just putting their name on it. They're not really doing anything with it.
That is freaking.
Like Spider-Man is all Marvel Studios, so it's just got Sony's name on it because they technically own him. No, all the TV stuff is Marvel done.
Yeah.
As long as
like
they're not DC TV stuff.
Like Netflix doesn't like really own any studios. They just buy shows that other studios do, or give money to studios to make shows for them. They don't really have their own studio. They just have a lot of money.
It sucks too, because like what Stanley had to do to get Marvel where it is now was do what he did in selling Spider-Man and Fantastic Four to Sony.
They had to auction off.
He had to do that.
Their characters.
Yeah.
And so, but I mean, you got to think about it. In the early mid 90s, Marvel Comics filed for bankruptcy.
Yep.
I mean, they filed for bankruptcy. They just weren't making money, and this is totally revitalized the comic book industry.
And then Blade came out, and everything was saved. Yeah.
It wasn't saved, because they had Blade, and then they had the Spider-Man stuff, and those were really good, but there was nothing to follow it up.
Question for you boys: if you guys could pick any character in the Marvel universe to make a movie out of, who would it be? That's not already done, or maybe already done but in a different light.
Blade.
That's easy for me too. I know who you're gonna pick.
Who, me?
Yep.
What is it?
Maestro.
No.
Maestro.
No, absolutely.
Oh, really? That'd be me. I would pick the hell out of that.
Yeah, that's a great character. No, it's Galactus all day.
Oh, yep.
That's gonna be the next villain. It'll be the next 10 years. There's nothing else to do besides Doctor Doom, who they could introduce with the Fantastic Four movie.
Telling you, man, Maestro's a fucking sick character.
Nah.
What they
they need a new Blade movie is what they need.
Sure. They're getting to the point where they have to go astral. They have to go cosmos. I mean, because you're getting to the entities that are, you know, Captain Marvel, and, you know, so we should start seeing more characters like Adam Warlock and Silver Surfer, and the Eternals has been hinted.
I think Angelina Jolie's actually gonna be in that.
Yeah, there was something about that. Yeah, I saw. So, but the thing is the heart and soul of the MCU resides on these Earth-based characters,
the Avengers,
and the Avengers, and all that stuff. And they could go West Coast Avengers. They could go all the different subsects that were part of the Avengers initiative, so to say. But it's getting to a point where are you going to be able to drag the everyday movie watcher into outer space and have them enjoy the ride? So that's where it's going.
I mean, they've done a good job with Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean,
and Thor was the first real foray into that.
Yeah. I think Guardians of the Galaxy does a really good job of bringing people to space and making it interesting. So I think if they see more of that kind of stuff with Marvel's tag on it, they're going to be more apt to go.
Well, Guardian's success is solely on James Gunn's ability to ground the viewer on Earth, even though you're in space, with the soundtrack. That cunning use of that soundtrack and that was just brilliant.
Well, and the
that kept it personal. Yeah,
the back and forth.
Clarification on the Spider-Man TV shows for Sony. Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, that developed Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, they are producers and directors of 21 Jump Street, Lego Movie. They signed a 5-year deal with Sony to oversee the Marvel TV universe. All the Spider-Man TV shows that are in that Spider-Man universe are going to be produced by Lord and Miller's own company, not by Marvel. Yeah. Lord Miller
so here's the thing: are they going to work Tom Holland to death?
He is
he won't be on any of those shows. I doubt.
This will be like Silver Sable, Black Cat, shit like that.
Yeah, it'll be like they do Daredevil and stuff. Like they don't have anything to do with any of the actual big characters.
Yeah, you'll see.
Well, they did like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, at the end of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., there was a very small cameo by Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury.
Yeah, very small cameo, but like
because it's too expensive.
They're not in any. Yeah, exactly. They're not in any of those other shows though. They're mentioned, but like in passing. Barely.
Phil Coulson was in that. He was in Avengers movies.
Yeah, he was, but he wasn't in.
You're not going to see Robert Downey Jr.
else, but yeah, you're not going to get Tom Holland on a fucking TV show or something,
right?
Well, once
maybe
Phil Coulson
once
was killed, then he was only TV.
Phil Coulson.
Yeah, that was the only reason.
Yeah.
I think the fun fact, they don't trust Tom Holland with the
spoilers.
It's not a spoiler. Yeah, because he literally acted most of his scenes in front of a green screen with nobody else around him. They gave him his script one line at a time.
Yeah,
and he literally acted.
In interviews, he spoils so
much.
He
slipped up so much in the last. So they're literally like in a room with green screens, giving his lines a paragraph at a time.
Yeah, he's the worst.
Well, and they were super secretive. I mean, a lot of cast members got redacted scripts and just stuff they were in.
They gave Robert Downey 4 scripts. They said 4 different scripts.
Yeah, and Captain Marvel was filmed after Infinity War and Endgame.
Yep.
So that sequence at the end of her movie where she's talking to like where's Fury, she basically did that in a green room with just like tape that she had to look at, like where's Fury.
Yep.
So that's funny.
That's cool. I'm excited for phase 4. See what they do.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. What else you got, Poop?
That's it, man. That's all I got. And we're way over on time, and I got my MCU fix. I'm good.
Very good. Where can we find you?
You can find me on twitch.tv/PoopShizzle. Yep. So my grandma's back to watching me now. So anyway,
make sure he'll take you back anytime, though, right?
Yeah.
I
left
wanted
on good terms.
Yeah. I gave him a chance. So anyway, and you can also find me on Twitter.
Okay.
I'm on Twitter. It's SolidScorpionZ. And that's pretty much it.
Okay. Mr. Dawes.
Find me at your mom's house. Just kidding. You can find me on Twitter, Steam, now fucking Epic Launcher. Dumb. King Dawes.
King Dawes. No Xbox tag in there? You giving up the console?
Dude, they've taken so long on my Xbox. I sent that thing in almost 2 months ago because the hard drive shit to bed. Still haven't gotten it back. I could have went out, worked the corner, and bought a new one by now, but they're still fixing it. So screw you, Microsoft. I'll play Hello Kitty Adventure on PC.
Secretary, where you at?
Following Poopsly, twitch.tv/Sectator Gaming.
Wow.
Also on Twitter, everything else Sectator Gaming as well.
And I am Adam 212. You can find me on Xbox at Adam 212 Mixer. You can find me on PlayStation, Steam, Switch, Twitch at Adam 212. Not on Mixer.
Damn.
Back as well. Yeah. The ship is sinking fast.
Mixer got the big FU from the spawn camp.
Hey, with EchoCast for Borderlands 3, with crowd control,
sick
affiliates,
and with them reducing the chat timer as well. they reduced that. It's no longer 45-second delay.
I gotta get there. All right, thank you everyone for watching and listening. This concludes our cast. Check us out in 2 weeks for our next episode of Metagame. Until then, remember, as far as I'm concerned, that's America's ass. Good night, everyone.